All right, we're going to start off with 5 or 10 minutes of foam rolling, also called mild fast release. So what this is going to help do is relax some of the muscles and also get rid of some of the knots, adhesions within the muscle. What we want to do is foam roll over the complete body here. We're going to start off and I'm just going to show you the calves. So you can put both feet over or just start in this area. You're going to roll slowly about 1 inch per second. If you find some knots, they might refer a little bit of pain, so some pain triggers in there. What you want to do is hold on those for about 20 to 30 seconds until those dissipate, and then continue rolling. We're going to do the complete posterior side all the way up the back, and then we will do the front anterior side all the way down too. So do that for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then we'll get on to our dynamic warm-up. All right, we're going to do quadruped draw-ins. Quadruped, all that means is being on all fours. So in this position, we want to make sure that our hands are right underneath our shoulders. We're going to pull our toes in towards our shins. We're going to draw in the belly button to the spine, breathing in, holding that in. Make sure that you're breathing. We're going to hold that for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, release, then draw back in. So we're going to do about 10 reps of that, holding 2 to 3 seconds each time we draw that belly button into the spine, and we're going to practice our breathing at the same time. Okay, we're going to do a front plank here. What we're going to do is be on our forearms, okay? I kind of like to hold a fist here. I want my eyes looking right down at the fist. I want to have a straight line, neutral back all the way. I'm going to draw my belly button into my spine, contract my glutes and my thighs, and I'm going to practice breathing the whole time, okay? You can go to a modified if you need to on your knees if the full plank is a little difficult. And I want to do that for about 20 to 30 seconds just to strengthen up those deep core muscles. All right, we're going to do a side plank. This is going to help strengthen up our obliques and our deep core muscles again, our transverse abdominis, multifidi. So we want to come here, we want to make sure that our arm is in a 90. So a lot of times kind of people put their arms out here. It's going to put a lot of stress on this AC and the shoulder joint here. So right underneath here, you can put your feet on top of each other. Some people do tandem, which is just basically your feet in front, but I prefer kind of right here. Use your hand to base you up. You want to hold here. We're going to do that for about 15 to 20 seconds. Once again, drawing belly button to spine, contracting the lower body, and breathing, okay? You can go to a modified if you want to, with your knees bent here at a 90, rotating up on that knee, and holding the same thing if the regular side plank is a little difficult for you. Okay, we're going to do a bird dog. This is great for increasing mobility. You're going to be doing flexion extension of the lower body. It also works the deep core muscles, transverse abdominis, and your multifidi, which are great muscles for stability. So once again, quadruped position or all four position, hands right underneath your shoulders, feet pulled in towards your shin. Going to draw that belly button into your spine. I'm going to lift my right arm and full extension here or flexion here of the arm, and then my back leg at the same time. I can do the same side or I can alternate each one. I want to make sure that it's nice and straight. I'm trying to reach out to the wall on that side. I'm trying to reach that foot to the wall behind me on the other side. Once again, all while drawing in belly button to the spine and breathing throughout the exercise. Okay, we're going to do some supine bent knee marches. So supine just means on my back, supine on my spine. I'm going to lay back. I'm going to bring my knees up to a 90, my arms straight up. I'm going to lower one leg, touch, and right back up. All this is doing is help, once again, work my deep core muscles, also getting a little bit of mobility within my legs while I'm keeping my back nice and stable. Ready? Okay, we're going to do tall kneeling prisoner rotations. Okay, this is to help thoracic spine mobility and rotation and a transverse plane. So tall kneeling means we're going to be up on our knees just like this, keeping our core nice and tight, drawing in that belly button to spine. We're going to put our hands behind our heads like prisoner, and we're going to rotate all the way as far as we can to the center here. We're going to breathe out, hold for 1 or 2 or 3 seconds, breathe back in, and rotate to the other side. This is side here. Same thing, pulling those toes in towards the shin, back nice and straight, rotate, and right back. We're going to do prone push-ups, sometimes called yoga push-ups depending on what you're eating that day. But we're going to come in here, okay, feet are going to be out, okay, we're going to bring our arms kind of next to our side. What I kind of think about is bringing my thumb so they kind of cups my chest. I want my elbows pointed back. I'm going to look forward, I'm going to push up. So a lot of times people push here where their hips come up and they fully extend their elbow. you don't need to do that. You kind of want to keep them right next to your side. You're just doing small movements here. Okay, as you come up, blow out, slowly hold here. Now, if this causes lots of pain in your lower back, do not do this exercise, but the idea is to get a little bit more mobility within my lower back and help nourish that spine a little bit. So we're going to do some partial Supermans. We're going to lay it here. We're going to fly, just like that. So this is going to get a little bit more mobility, extension and flexion and extensions in my upper and lower extremities. So what we're going to do here is partial Superman. So we're going to lift the left and right, the left leg and the right arm up simultaneously while pushing my hand down to the ground and my toe down to the ground on this one, blowing out and alternating. It's really important to push these hands and the opposite feet down. That will help engage my core and keep me from over hyperextending. Ready. All right, we're going to do a push-up, okay? So we're going to do these on the floor. If you want to regress, you can also do these against the wall or do them modified. So we're going to get in basically a full plank position here, hands right underneath the shoulders. As we lower ourselves, we're going to push our elbows out to the corner of the room, come down to right there to 90, pushing through our full hands, keeping our glutes, core nice and tight, king up, squeezing the triceps and the chest together. Don't completely lock out because that will put a lot of stress on that elbow. Right back down to one fluid motion, up and down, boom. All right, we're going to do some dumbbell bent over rows. So what we want to do, we're going to have these neutral grip, which basically means the palms are going to be facing each other. We're going to push our hips back, make sure that we have a nice neutral spine, grabbing the weights right here, pulling up using our biceps and making sure that we really squeeze our shoulder blades together so we can get those back muscles and those rhomboids. Lowering nice and slow back, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out again as we pull back up. All right, so let's try this from the side. Once again, hips back, breathing out, squeezing shoulder blades together, lowering nice and slow, breathing in. There you go. We're going to do some standing bicep curls. You can also do these seated. Things you want to do is make sure that you kind of glue your arms next to your side. We're going to supinate, means we're going to spin up. It's like you can hold a can of soup here. We're going to spin up, squeeze the bicep all the way up. Make sure those elbows are staying pointed down. Nice and slow descend in the eccentric motion all the way down and then coming right back up. Nice and controlled movements. All right, we're going to do some seated behind the neck tricep extensions. Just like the name calls it, we're going to grab the weight. So we're going to grab the weight just like this, hands here, pull it right behind our head, okay? Make sure to push yourself back into the seat and that you kind of keep your lower back compressed. So a lot of times when we come overhead like that, we're going to put a lot of stress on the lower back. So keeping your core and keeping your back firmly pressed against the seat will help out a lot. So we're going to lower it in the eccentric motion down nice and slow, making sure that elbows point forward. A lot of times people use too much weight and kind of pull those elbows out. Try to keep those elbows pointed directly forward. In the concentric motion of the positive, push up, squeeze the tricep, and right back down. Once again, breathing in on the eccentric motion, breathing out on the positive concentric motion. Keeping your lower back nice and stable and your back neutral. All right, we're going to do some seated shoulder presses. You can also do these on a stability ball if you want to. Also standing, we use a little bit more core, but you can't quite go as heavy typically. So we want to make sure that we're doing these nice and heavy. So we're going to have a little bit of stability here by sitting down. We're going to come out. We want to make sure that we bring these at a 90. We don't want to be in here. A lot of people kind of rest these on the shoulder. You're going to put a lot of stress on that elbow and definitely don't want no elbow pain. Got to do shoulder presses, right? So we want to keep here about at a 90, kind of at earlobe or ear level. We're going to press all the way up and nice and slow down. Just like that. The main thing you have to really focus on is keeping it at a 90 at the whole time and using enough weight that it doesn't cause you to want to arch your lower back and that you can stay supported the whole time. Ready. All right, we're going to do some dumbbell wrist curls to kind of work the forearms and the wrist flexors here. So what we're going to do here is just lay our arms, our complete forearms on the end of our knees here. We're going to lower down, coming out, opening our hands slightly, and then coming back up, curling, flexing the wrist here all the way up, and squeezing. Okay, just nice and slow. I'm going to work each one of these. You can do these single by themselves or both at the same time, and really just get a nice squeeze there through your forearms. All right, we're going to do some prone arm lifts. This is a great exercise to help stretch out the abdominals, also help stretch out the lats a little bit and give us a little bit of thoracic mobility in extension. So you can do a lot of different kind of variations of this. We're going to do prone arm lifts Y's, as that's going to be the shape of the exercise that we're doing. So we're going to come here, we're going to have thumbs up, okay? Feet are going to be out, so not like in that push-up position when they're actually pulled in, more laying out just like this. We don't want to lift them like a lot of people do in the Superman position. Head down, laying here, and we're really just focusing on pulling the arms up as high as we possibly can. We want to take them as far as possible, hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and right back down. So up, keeping our head nice and neutral, holding for 2 or 3 seconds, and down. This is going to get a nice stretch through there, but it's also going to help strengthen up our rhomboid muscles, those muscles that pull our shoulder blades back. So great exercise to help out with a kyphotic curve, or actually bringing more nourishment and mobility within your thoracic spine, upper back. All right, we're going to go into a cat camel here just to kind of work through some of those muscles and increase some nourishment to the back and a little bit of spine and hip mobility. So once again, in this quadruped position, we're going to start on all fours here. Hands are going to be right underneath the shoulders, toes pulled into the shin, drawing in that belly button to the spine. We're going to push through our full hand and round the back and draw in our hips towards our belly button. Okay, so this is the mad cat part here. And then we're going to push back out, interiorly rotating, causing a little bit of lordosis in our lower back, stretching out those abdominals, and holding here. Each one of these motions you want to hold for 2 or 3 seconds and make sure that you're breathing. So breathe out here. Breathe back in. And really getting full rotation. You should really feel those hips moving in your back, really going from a curve to a little bit curve in your lower back to a curve in your upper back. All right, we're going to do a child's pose. This is a great lower back erector spinae, those big muscles that are on either side of your spine. Also, we can get a nice little lat stretch here. So what we want to do here is we're going to put our hands down in front of us, okay, and we're going to act like they're glued on here and we're trying to pull them off, but we can't. That's going to help actively stretch these lats and give a little bit of tension to stretch through our, those deep muscles that we're talking about on either side of the spine. So here we're going to lay back, pushing our hips. We also get a nice hip stretch through here as well, and a little bit of glutes, pushing all the way back. You want to make sure that you don't just drop your head, that it keeps in line with your arms and it's nice and neutral. Pulling back and actively holding this for 20 or 30 seconds. Ready? All right, we're going to do a supine 90-90 stretch. So what we're going to do is supine on our spine, then laying on our back. We're going to bring our legs up to a 90 degrees. Make sure this is at a 90. Okay. What we're going to do here is then hold these legs down and kind of pull towards you, keeping above here. I'm going to take this hand and I'm just going to pull, follow with my eyes all the way back, and blow out and breathe. Going to hold that for about 15 or 30 seconds. The idea behind that is to increase my mobility in my thoracic spine and getting a nice stretch through there. All right, so we're going to do a standing hamstring stretch. What you're going to do is just dorsiflex or bring that ankle towards you, okay? And you're just going to push your hips back. This is going to get hamstrings and calf, okay? So a lot of times people want to bend over. I don't want to put a lot of stress on your lower back, so especially if you have lower back problems, you're going to push your hamstring back. Okay, you can add a little bit of intensity if you want to by elevating and also doing the same thing. Instead of leaning forward towards our feet, we're actually just going to push our hips back, and we want to hold this stretch for 20 or 30 seconds, and you should feel a nice deep stretch through your hamstrings and calf muscles. Okay, so we're going to do the pillar stretch. This is going to help stretch out our lats and our abdominals, which is sometimes tight and wanting to pull us forward. It's also going to help stretch out our forearms and our triceps and biceps a little bit. So what we're going to do is interlock our hands. I always kind of call this the morning stretch when you first get up. And you're going to push straight up above. You want to actively stretch here. So I want to try to touch my palms to the ceiling and push as high as I can, kind of squeezing those shoulder blades together, and really think about elongating. You should be about 2 or 3 inches taller after you do this. I've been trying for a long time, but yeah, so you want to keep actively stretching and just pull and kind of feel that. Shut your eyes, go somewhere else, and breathe the whole time. So we're going to do an open arm chest stretch. So a lot of times the people that kind of have forward shoulders, this is a great stretch, but just after doing some of the exercises, it's good to kind of help stretch out these muscles as well. So all we're going to do is here, like we're clapping, we're just going to give Andrea a big hug she's filming. But we're gonna give a big hug here. Open our arms nice and wide for the world's largest hug. And we're just gonna constantly pull back. Once that will also strengthen up those back muscles, but it's gonna help stretch out that chest. And we just wanna hold 20 or 30 seconds and get a nice stretch through here. You can do this 1 or 2 times if you need to, and that will get a nice stretch through that whole thing and through a little bit through your bicep as well.